In 1993, there was a game developed by id Software called Doom, a first-person shooter where the main premise was murdering a bunch of demons invading Mars, and my god was it successful. This game amassed a huge cult following, and if you ever needed evidence of how big this game was, just remember that Doom clones were a popular thing back then. Not to mention all the ports this game got, like whether they were good or bad. Can It Run Doom became its own little meme for a while, and a lot of things could run Doom, let me tell ya. Also, the music kicked a plethora of ass, both the original MIDIs and Andrew Hulshult's reimaginings. The game is still really fun to turn on every once in a while, and of course with the game getting that big, you'd have to create a sequel, which they did. And it was awesome, adding new demons and challenges and items and features. It was a pretty good game. Eventually that came to Doom 64, which changed some things up, but was another good game. It took out the high-octane demon ass-kicking tracks in favor of more atmospheric, anxiety-filled tracks. I personally love them both for what they are, but if I had to choose one, I'd choose the high-octane demon ass-kicking. And then there was Doom 3, the 2004 game that certainly knew how to be divisive. Ditching the original story of the first couple Doom games, this one creates a whole new narrative, which is strange because if you're gonna reboot your franchise, you probably shouldn't be calling it Doom 3. Doom 64 feels like that should have gotten the title. However, Doom 3 wasn't bad, it was just different. General consensus is that while it is a good game on its own, it wasn't a good Doom game. Other than that, Doom RPG, anyone? Yeah, weirdly enough, the Doom franchise became pretty stagnant for a while. There was a lot of talk of a potential Doom 4, and it was being developed, but as you can see from all this pre-release footage, it just looked like a shitty Call of Duty ripoff. It was pretty much scrapped entirely, besides a few assets that were reused in Doom 2016. However, in 2009, ZeniMax Media / Bethesda bought out id Software alongside all of its IPs, and in 2014, we got Wolfenstein the New Order, which was positively received. Not only was it another good installment in the Wolfenstein catalog, but also never lost sight of what made the original so great, which hopefully can be carried over into Doom 4. On top of that, Hugo Martin is given the role as creative director, and he is a pretty cool dude, creating some of the most amazing environments and character designs ever seen in the video game industry. Not to mention, he's just a really fun guy. If you needed evidence, go watch his recent playthrough of Doom Eternal. Time kept passing, trailers kept releasing, and eventually Doom 4 was announced to be another reboot simply known as Doom. I just hate it when reboots do the same name as the original. And on May 13th of 2016, the long-awaited game was finally released on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, with the Nintendo Switch version releasing on November 10th of 2017, and a Stadia port on August 18th of 2020. Ultimately, none of this would matter, had it been a pile of garbage that lost sight of what made the original so great or didn't evolve the Doom series in a positive direction. That's what some people were worried about, this game potentially killing off the franchise. But it seemed that this game was gaining positive attention across new players and veterans alike, so those worries were quickly put to rest. However, is this game worthy of priding itself as the game that rejuvenated the Doom franchise? Hell yes. In terms of story, the UAC, Union Aerospace Corporation, wants to open a portal to Hell to exploit Argent Energy, an infinitely renewable energy source that was found on Mars initially, but then later found out it was from Hell. So, the UAC begins expeditions in Hell. Olivia Pierce, one of the scientists, goes full-on cultist as she performs human sacrifices and experiments to aid Hell. She found the Helix Stone, which had the coordinates to a sarcophagus that contained a demigod of sorts that almost brought the destruction of Hell. Samuel Hayden, some cyborg-ass dude, finds the sarcophagus, and containing it was the Doomslayer. There are some testaments found throughout your journey which contain different lore hints about what the Doomslayer's deal is. He was once a hero that saved the world from the invasion of Hell, but chose to stay in Hell so he could kill every last demon. I mean, I guess Jesus Christ got his work cut out for him if the Doomslayer is going to do that. He was also given power by a character known as the Seraphim to combat against the forces of Hell. Eventually, he was lured and trapped by the Hell Priest and was entombed in a sarcophagus, with this very mark on it as a warning among the demons to never open it, or else there will be hell to pay. Get it? Because hell and then the hell. This leads us to where we are now, where the Doomslayer wakes up and out of the sarcophagus, eventually finding the Praetor suit, which has its own side effect of demonic visions, and eventually you meet Samuel Hayden, who tells the Slayer that they can work together and resolve this problem. And this is where we get to the gameplay itself. Doom 2016 does what every reboot of a franchise with respect backing it should do, retaining what made the classic gameplay so great while also giving it a proper modernization. The game blends those two concepts in such a remarkably superb way. There's no mistaking it, this is what Doom should feel like in the field of modern gaming. For starters, the combat in this game is amazing. The flow of killing hordes of demons is extremely rewarding. Intuitive thinking is also at play here, given the wide array of demons you will encounter, all from past games, except for the summoner, but they pretty much operate the same as an archvile. You have to think about what demon you're going to take on at what moment, and the most efficient way of doing so, all with a versatile selection of weapons. All of them are returning weapons: the pistol, combat shotgun, plasma rifle, super shotgun, chain gun, heavy assault rifle, Gauss cannon, and the rocket launcher, all of them being really fun with the exception of the pistol. However, I'm still glad that the pistol is here because you get to watch Can You Beat Doom 2016 with just the pistol? There are additional features in your arsenal besides that, one of them being grenades, which are really helpful for taking down multiple demons. The chainsaw is probably the most useful and reinforces the gameplay loop to a significant amount. Pretty much the chainsaw allows you to one-shot demons, provided you have enough fuel to do so, and doing that will give you a plethora of ammo pickups. And of course, who can forget about the classic BFG 9000? With a BFG charge, you can shoot a large green ball of plasma, which will reach out to any demon in the vicinity of the plasma ball and disintegrate them immediately. Also in combat, you can find temporary power-ups such as quad damage, invulnerability, haste, and berserk. And I should also mention the introduction of glory kills. If enough damage is dealt to a demon, they will become staggered, which then the player can perform a brutal finishing move on them. Every time a glory kill is performed, the demon will also drop health pickups, which again reinforces the flow and combat of gameplay. This, and keeping your ammo in check, are primary ways as to how the game wants you to play aggressively. You are a demon killing machine, so don't cower down and hide behind obstacles. Keep on moving too, because a lot of projectiles will be shot at you constantly. All of this makes for one of the best gameplay loops ever in any video game, extracting what makes an FPS game so damn good. You can also find interchangeable weapon mods from these UAC drones, and it just adds on to the gameplay loop. Some are overpowered, like the Gauss Cannon Siege mode upgrade, being able to obliterate most things in the vicinity of the shot. It doesn't reach out as much as the BFG 9000 though. But it can one-hit some stronger demons like the Hell Knights, like that's kind of broken. Some, like the combat shotgun's sticky bombs, are really helpful for taking out multiple demons in one blow. On top of that, you can also boost your ammo, health, or armor by finding Argent cells, and being able to unlock new upgrades finding Praetor tokens, such as immunity to barrel explosion damage, or dexterity, which allows for more faster weapon mod switches and whatnot. Not to mention the rune trials you can find, which presents you with a mini challenge. Once completed, you can choose to equip a rune, which has its own perks, like the vacuum rune for instance, which increases the range where you can absorb ammo and health, and saving throw, which allows you to survive one death blow, but it can't be used after that until you die. Exploration is also heavily encouraged, as you can find multiple codex entries and figurines based on Doom Guy. It's really just one model recolored a couple times, but they're still really fun to collect. Not to mention these levers, which can open a secret door to a room that is a recreation of a classic Doom level, which is a cute callback. All of this makes Doom 2016 so fantastic and rewarding to play. This is definitely some of the most fun I've ever had playing a video game. In terms of additional modes, there's Snap Map, which allows you to make and play custom levels, and that's pretty awesome. I haven't done much of it though, but I'd really like to sometime. There's also death matches, but quite frankly, I don't really care. Back to the story. Olivia Pierce reroutes all energy of the UAC to the Argent Tower, which she uses to create a portal to Hell. After scaling the tower, the Slayer finds her upon the beacon emitting Argent energy as the portal opens up, bringing both Olivia and the Slayer into Hell. After going through Hell, literally, the Slayer returns to Mars to meet up with Hayden in person, who installs a tether system to the Praetor suit. The Slayer needs to go back to Hell in order to find the Crucible, an ancient artifact that can store a whole lot of energy into it, using the Crucible to stop the production of Argent energy. The only way to go back to Hell, however, is finding an Argent accumulator. However, there is only one more in the facility, located right on the back of the Cyberdemon, who's actually the first boss in this game. Yeah, we're in the last quarter of the game and we're only now getting into boss battles. Anyway, the Cyberdemon was an awesome battle, however, it was a bit on the easy side. Maybe if his attacks did more damage and he had more health, I would have probably liked it better. To find the Crucible, you have to go through another Hell level, and have to fight this Regirock looking motherfucker named the Hellguard. And get this, on the second phase, there's two of them. I do think the first phase was harder though. The Hellguard is invincible until he goes in for an attack. Sounding familiar? And on the second phase, neither of them are invincible throughout any moment. Anyway, cool boss, glad it was decently challenging, and with that, you got the Crucible back. After that, the Slayer is brought back to Mars at Vega's Central Processing. Oh yeah, I haven't brought up Vega yet. Basically a super intelligence created by the UAC, who is the only character other than Doomslayer who isn't a complete asswad. He helps you along the way, providing information on the UAC and whatnot, and a lot of people compare him to Cortana from the Halo franchise, and I can see why. The reason you are brought back here is because if Vega's cooling system is destroyed, it can open up a rift strong enough to bring you to the well, which is located in a realm called Argent Denur, which is the homeland of the Sentinels. Sentinels being the warriors that fought along the Slayer's crusade in Hell. Also, holy crap, this level has a setting in it that isn't Mars or the UAC facility or Hell. Don't get me wrong, this game is gorgeous as hell, no pun intended, but there is a lot of visual fatigue that comes with seeing the same exact settings a lot of the time. So, Doomslayer destroys Vega's core, but not without backing up the AI, essentially saving Vega's life, and is brought to Argent Denur in this, albeit short but challenging level, and destroys the Argent energy power source. But before being brought back to Mars, runs into Olivia Pierce, who... Wow, you okay? You need water? You need Snickers? Then she goes into the ground or something and becomes the Spider Mastermind, another classic boss reimagined, and it's a pretty damn good boss. There's a ton of attacks being used by her, desperately trying to stop you, but ultimately, she fails, and you shove the BFG 9000 into her mouth and blow her brains out, regardless of if you have any BFG ammo left. With that, Argent energy is stopped, Olivia Pierce is dead, and Samuel Hayden tethers you back to Mars and talks down upon you for ruining his plans of selling Argent energy to everyone. And he takes the Crucible away from you, revealing that it's some cherry-flavored Jolly Rancher sword, and then tethers you to an unknown location. Bam! That's the ending. On a bit of a cliffhanger, however, but it does offer some closure to the main villain while also leaving more room for the story to continue, which it does. With that out of the way, I guess we can finally move on to presentation, and can I just say... Woo! This game looks amazing. Going for a more realistic and grounded approach, this game legitimately feels like you're going through hell. Oh, and also the demon designs. These guys look fucking amazing with some gruesome redesigns. They don't look like they're messing around. This game also gives zero shits about what other people think. It is unapologetically brutal with its guts and violence. The sound design is also really nice too, like you really feel like you have an impact with what you're doing. And the music. The fucking music. Have a listen. This music, this is what makes Doom the amazing experience that it is. It adds so much layers to an already great game, especially to the Doomslayer as a protagonist. You are a badass, unstoppable demigod whose only goal is to kill every last demon on the face of hell. It feels amazing to play. It feels amazing to listen to. This is what Doom is all about. And fun fact, Doom wasn't supposed to have a metal soundtrack originally, which I cannot for the life of me figure out as to why that is the case. Mick Gordon is Mick Gordon though, so he went with metal anyway, and it paid off extremely well. That is Doom 2016, a fantastic experience with fantastic combat and fantastic music and fantastic visuals and the whole fantastic everything. This is a worthy reboot of the Doom franchise, more than worthy I'd say. I love this game, I don't think that can be overstated. This wasn't just a one-hit wonder reboot though, the game series was meant to continue, and with that we have Doom Eternal, and now I have to make a review of that, don't I? Just add that to the list of unfulfilled obligations. And done. If I had one thing negative to say about Doom 2016, it's the same name syndrome. And I know in 2 years I'm gonna regret not talking about the multiplayer aspect enough, just like how I didn't talk about the golf minigame in Madagascar. Oh. Wait, oh, fuck, I didn't talk about the golf minigame in Madagascar!